I mean, we have to always start by saying that nuclear weapons are inhumane and indiscriminate on a scale that's completely beyond comprehension. Their use could end life on Earth. It could end the nature of the planet itself. They're not fit for any purpose. And they were developed in secret by a tiny minority of men with no mandate. And we absolutely need to eliminate them. And I mean, I first became aware of that thanks to John Hersey's book on the impact of and the reality of what happened in Hiroshima. And I joined Youth CND here in Edinburgh at that time, which was a very long time ago. But today is a very special day. It's a special day for me. The 7th of July is a day that is really marked on my calendar. And I'm particularly happy this year to be welcoming people to my homeland, with many people here who were at the UN in New York on the 7th of July 2017. And these are people who have become a special kind of community and have become friends in a particular kind of way over many years of international face-to-face meetings, emails, virtual online meetings. We were doing that before the pandemic made that a norm. So it's a very special occasion. My first involvement was as a Wilf woman from Scotland, and it was the international perspective that really inspired me, especially because at that time we were just beginning a debate in Scotland about what Scotland could look like if it chose to vote for independence. It was an opportunity to actually look at the country and think, what would we do? How would we do things if we were able to start from scratch and build a new country? And it certainly didn't include having nuclear weapons. And the humanitarian conferences that happened and during that time, and I also had meetings around that time with people in Ireland. Well, I was just trying to give a little tribute to Austria, Brazil, Ireland, New Zealand, Mexico, and South Africa. And I'm glad that we've got representation at our meeting from most of those places, because it was those countries that really, really stood out in support for understanding that we needed to actually look at the humanitarian impact of these weapons rather than some kind of artificial politics around national borders. There was also a strong strand in Scottish disarmament campaigning that we could get rid of the UK's nuclear weapons, which are all in Scotland, if we got independence. But I didn't want to just get rid of nuclear weapons from Scotland. I wanted them out of the world. And that was another reason why working for the ban treaty was such a strong imperative. And so after the open-ended working group that we had that advised that we should go for, or advised the General Assembly of the United Nations that they should go for a conference to write a ban treaty, we worked very hard here in Scotland to try and ensure that there was a strong delegation from civil society that contributed to that process. And we did that, and it was a very, very worthwhile and valuable exercise, and educated everybody within that group. And we sent that delegation, and now we're at a particularly important stage. We've got the treaty. It was adopted 4 years ago. It entered into force at the beginning of this year. And the first meeting of states parties will be at the beginning of next year. And we really need to make sure that we pay our debt, or that the debt is paid. It may not be our debt, it may belong to other people, but the debt to the Hibaksha and to all of the people that have been affected by the tests and the experimentation and the lost opportunity costs. And that means working with our parliamentarians and keeping the conversations focused on the reality of what the weapons do, and challenging the political rhetoric.